Well, welcome to the SWAT Prophetic Crash Course, where we believe in advancing prophets to become Class A prophets. We tell many people all the time that you may be gifted as a prophet, but are you educated as a prophet? So our major passion in the SWAT School of Wisdom and Transformation is to elevate the prophetic mind, to elevate the prophetic consciousness, and shift prophets into becoming Class A prophets. And I just want to give you a brief crash course on the melancholic prophet. A couple of videos earlier, I shared about the four temperaments that are mainly dominant in prophets, but I want to focus on the melancholic prophet because some of you are melancholic and some of you have been going through emotional turmoil as a melancholic prophet. And I want to show you how to really embrace your identity, because your identity as a prophet was designed and wired by God to be used for a special purpose in the ecclesia and in the world. So if you see yourself sometimes emotionally unstable or going through mood swings, or you might see yourself crying all the time when you see a lot of injustice, or you see a lot of people going through some situations, and that's not even your burden, but you have the tendency to magnetize yourself to their burden, and you start carrying that burden, then more than likely you're a melancholic prophet. And there's some characteristics about the melancholic prophet that I want to share with you. The first thing is that if you find yourself deeply reflective and introspective, everything that you hear, you just take your time to reflect it, you ponder it, you analyze situations, you look for deeper meanings in conversations. And somehow shallow conversations or just basically casual talk can bore you. You find yourself losing interest with this casual talking or something that's not really meaningful. So if you find yourself in search for meaningful conversations and deep conversations, then you might be a melancholic prophet. You might be chosen by God and anointed by God to be a melancholic prophet, because melancholic prophets do not like surface-based conversations. They don't like surface-based worship experiences. They like to go deep into their experience existentially. And so sometimes when people are celebrating fluffy worship messages, and they're celebrating fluffy worship experiences, that sometimes can irritate the melancholic prophet, because the melancholic prophet discerns beyond the fluff. They discern beyond the facade that sometimes Christians have the tendency to express. And so the melancholic prophet is looking at roots, they're looking at patterns, they're looking at, what is the core reason for doing this? What is the why for doing this? And sometimes they feel uncomfortable even in fellowships, or you might take them out to eat, they feel uncomfortable when they just see a lot of people talking and there's no aim and there's no direction to it, okay? Another tendency or characteristic of a melancholic prophet is that they're emotionally intense and highly sensitive. The easiest thing can make them cry, or the easiest thing can offend them if they do not know how to embrace their melancholic temperament and also move by the Holy Spirit. So they can be easily offended and easily grieved at certain issues or certain things that people do, especially habits that appear to be toxic, can make a melancholic prophet emotionally unstable or emotionally irritable. One example of a melancholic prophet was Elisha. When they sent for Elisha to prophesy to the king, King Jehoshaphat sent Elisha to prophesy to King Ahab. I think it's in 2 Kings chapter 4 or chapter 5. King Ahab was a very wicked king. We know King Ahab, he was the one married to Jezebel. And when Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, or king of Israel summons Elisha, which is Elijah, to come prophesy for King Ahab, Elisha did not want to, because he understood that Ahab was not willing to change. So he was irritable. And so to calm Elisha's melancholic emotions or his mood, he called forth a minstrel. That minstrel that he called for had to play. And we know, according to rabbinical tradition, the dancing hand of God came upon Elisha and soothed him. And Elisha was able to prophesy beyond his critical spirit, beyond that melancholic spirit that felt like he should not prophesy. And another good melancholic prophet is Jeremiah. Jeremiah was always weeping and crying. So that's why some melancholic prophets have jeremiads, which is a term for they're always weeping. So a careless comment can irritate a melancholic prophet. Someone that says something that appears to be way off